Sit back and enjoy an hour of fascinating facts you didn't know. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's get started. The Monkey Festival is a peculiar event held in Lopburi, Thailand, every November. It consists of preparing a feast for thousands of monkeys. This banquet includes fruits, vegetables, sweets, snacks, and even sodas, and is organized in gratitude to the monkeys for attracting thousands of tourists to this small town. These are gelatinous spheres that protect the eggs of the common frog. Interestingly, the egg mass of a single female can contain up to 2,000 eggs, and upon contact with water, the jelly swells up to 3 times its original size, which helps protect them from predators. Thumbelina, also known as Little Thumb, was the smallest mare in the world, registered in the Guinness Book of Records. She was approximately 43 centimeters high and weighed about 26 kilograms. Her small size was due to dwarfism, a genetic condition. At birth, she weighed only 3.6 kilograms, and her daily diet consisted of a cup of grain and a handful of hay twice a day. Thumbelina passed away on June 4, 2018, leaving a memorable legacy. Lycopodium powder is composed of the dried spores of primitive vascular plants from the genus Lycopodium. Although they are sometimes confused with mosses or ferns, they belong to a different family. This substance is highly flammable due to the large surface area to volume ratio of its particles. When dispersed in the air, it can ignite almost instantly. For this reason, it has been used in theatrical special effects, fireworks, and scientific demonstrations. Its behavior does not depend exclusively on its chemical composition, but on the way its suspended particles burn. The caterpillar of the common barren butterfly, native to India and Southeast Asia, camouflages itself with great effectiveness in its natural environment. As it grows, its shape and green color make it look like the central vein of a leaf, which protects it from birds and other predators. This adaptation increases its chances of reaching adulthood. When it transforms into a butterfly, the males have brown wings and the females have greenish tones. The development of the internet was a collaborative process that involved scientists, engineers, and academics over several decades. It emerged as a military and academic communications network in the 1960s and 70s, based on packet communication concepts. Although an internet as we know it today did not initially exist, the interconnection of networks and the gradual development of protocols and technologies laid the foundation for its growth. The robot horse at the Tokyo racecourse in Japan is an advanced simulator. Although it looks like a toy, it is designed to train jockeys and simulate the feeling of riding a horse in a controlled environment. It is also used in events and demonstrations, offering a unique experience without the risks of a live animal. This is the first 5-star hotel for cats in the world, and it is located in the capital of Malaysia. It is Katsia, a fantastic playground for these felines. The place has 35 rooms available for the kiddies' stay, is attended by lovers of these animals, and they are the ones who take care of the pets when the owners cannot accompany them. The fee is $21 per night. During a school game in Michigan, a blind student from Zeeland East High School scored a basket by guiding herself solely by sound. To achieve this, a person hit the rim while the crowd remained in complete silence. This strategy allowed her to orient herself audibly and execute the shot. The moment was widely recorded and shared for its emotional impact. In adapted sports, silence is essential for visually impaired athletes to perceive acoustic signals. Thus, sound becomes their main navigation tool. Vincent van Gogh sold only one painting during his lifetime, The Red Vineyard. This work was purchased in 1890 by the Belgian artist Anna Boch during an exhibition in Brussels. Although Van Gogh created around 900 paintings in his life, this was the only one that was officially sold while he was alive. Today, Van Gogh's works sell for millions of dollars at auctions due to their great artistic value and his posthumous fame. These underwater ice formations are not clouds or a forest, but ice forming during low tide. This phenomenon is known as frazzle ice, which consists of fine ice crystals that form in turbulent waters. These particles clump together, resulting in a surreal underwater landscape that looks like a field of cotton. Meet Lake Baikal, the deepest lake in the world, located in eastern Siberia in Russia. This lake reaches a depth of 1,642 meters and could become an ocean. Besides being the deepest, it is the oldest lake on the planet, with an age of approximately 25 million years. It contains the largest freshwater reserve on the Eurasian continent, equivalent to 20% of the world's reserves. Mexican honey ants belong to the species Myrmecocystis mexicanus and inhabit arid areas of the country. Some workers, called repletes, store nectar in their abdomens, which swell to the size of a grape. These ants function as living reserves within the nest and regurgitate food when others need it. The stored liquid contains essential nutrients such as sugars and lipids. In certain regions of Mexico, their honey is consumed for nutritional and medicinal purposes. This use is documented since pre-Hispanic times in cultures like the Nahuatl. They represent a notable example of biological adaptation and cultural value. The Daisen Kofun is an ancient keyhole-shaped tomb located in Osaka, Japan. Built between the 5th and 6th centuries, this gigantic burial mound is one of the largest of its kind in Japan, measuring approximately 486 meters in length. To this day, the mystery surrounding this structure persists, as it is still unknown who lies inside. Given its dimensions and spectacular nature, it is clear that this figure must have been extremely important in the history of Japan. The luxury wedding gardens of Le Mariage, in Doha, Qatar, are an example of the destination wedding industry. This company specializes in designing and setting up elaborate scenarios for weddings anywhere in the world. The business is based on creating personalized and high-end experiences for a clientele seeking a unique celebration. Designed during World War II by the United Kingdom, the Wellbike is considered the smallest folding motorcycle ever created. Weighing around 32 kilograms, it was designed to be airdropped by parachute along with British airborne forces. Its collapsible structure allowed it to be transported in planes and quickly deployed on the battlefield. Although only about 385 units were produced, the Wellbike proved to be a tactical innovation, providing mobility to troops behind enemy lines. Have you ever wondered what causes the sound of the sea in seashells? In reality, what we hear is the noise of the surroundings resonating inside them due to their hollow shape. In fact, the same thing would happen with an empty glass. Try it. What you will hear is the way the air flows inside it. These are not really sounds that are always there, but we don't hear them without the help of a resonating object. The glass caterpillar of Ecuador gets its name from its almost transparent skin. This feature, along with its spines, serves as a defense mechanism, as it makes it difficult to see and can cause a rash on contact. This larva transforms into a beautiful butterfly of the Saturniidae family, one of the largest in the world. Parmesan cheese, known as the king of cheeses, is produced exclusively in the Italian provinces of Parma, Reggio Emilia, Modena, and parts of Bologna and Mantua. This hard, granular cheese is made with unpasteurized cow's milk and is aged for a minimum of 12 months. Its intense and complex flavor makes it a key ingredient in Italian cuisine, especially grated over pasta and risottos. A fleet of microwave-sized delivery robots operates in Northampton, England. These robots use a combination of cameras, sensors, and GPS to navigate the city's sidewalks and avoid obstacles. Their use is part of an effort to automate last-mile deliveries, reducing traffic and emissions in urban centers. The Hollywood sign didn't always say Hollywood. The original sign was erected in 1923 as an advertising campaign for a luxury subdivision called Hollywoodland. The sign later deteriorated over the years, so it was decided to repair it on the condition that the word land be removed, which it was in 1949. This strange animal is an elderly marmoset. Although the common marmoset usually has dark fur, this specimen shows hair loss and a grayish coat, which is a normal sign of age. In captivity, marmosets can live beyond 13 years, and science is studying the aging processes in these primates to better understand the process in humans. The next time you pick up a banana, make sure it's not a snake. Known as a ball python, it is a very timid species with a harmless and not very aggressive nature. It reacts by coiling up into a ball, hence the name. The blue parrotfish inhabits the warm waters of the Caribbean and the Western Atlantic. It can grow up to 1.2 meters long and has pharyngeal teeth that allow it to crush rocks and coral. When feeding, it excretes sediments like white sand, which contribute to the formation of tropical beaches. This process is known as bioerosion and has a positive ecological impact. A single specimen can generate hundreds of kilograms of sand per year. It also helps clean reefs and control algae growth. Its presence is vital for the balance of coral ecosystems. The video titled The Boxing Cats, recorded in 1894, is considered the oldest recording of cats. This video was filmed at Thomas Edison's Black Maria studio in West Orange, New Jersey. During the Yom Kippur holiday in Israel, there is a national transportation shutdown for one day. This day, considered the holiest in the Jewish calendar, is observed with a 25-hour pause. During this time, public transportation stops, and the roads are nearly deserted. It's a tradition that many people take advantage of to go for a walk or ride a bike with their family. The buff tip moth, scientifically known as Phalaera butefala, lives in regions of Europe and Asia. Its main defense mechanism is camouflage, based on the shape and color of its wings. When folded, it adopts the appearance of a broken branch with a whitish stripe that imitates split wood. This imitation is so precise that it is almost undetectable to birds and other predators. The mimicry allows it to remain motionless on trunks and branches without being detected. In China, so-called gutter oil or sewer oil is a dangerous and illegal recycling practice. This oil is extracted from the sewage and drains of restaurants and often contains sludge, bacteria, and food waste. Despite being highly toxic and a serious risk to public health, it is resold at very low prices to street food vendors and some restaurants. These are Japanese signatures. Unlike us, they don't scribble their names. They use ink stamps on all kinds of documents, even on artistic works. They generally use two types, an inken for official matters and a hanko for personal issues. Most Japanese people get these stamps after finishing high school and before starting university. The Adumu dance is a tradition practiced by young Maasai men in Kenya and Tanzania during coming-of-age ceremonies. In this ritual, participants form a circle and perform vertical jumps without bending their knees, demonstrating strength, agility, and endurance. The highest jumps are a source of admiration within the community. This act is both a competition and a spiritual and cultural expression. The women do not jump, but they accompany the dance with songs and cheers. Native Americans in the northeast of what are now the United States and Canada used wampum, beads made from shells, as a currency and a means of communication. These beads had ceremonial and economic value and were adopted by European settlers in the early days of trade in North America. The use of wampum shows how different cultures developed their own forms of money before the arrival of metal coins. Sarija sheep, native to Turkmenistan, are part of a fat-tailed breed adapted to arid and cold environments. Their voluminous tail serves as a fat reserve, fulfilling a similar function to a camel's hump by storing energy for times of scarcity. This ability allows them to survive in regions like the Karakum Desert and the plains near the Kopetdag mountain range. Their wool is semi-coarse, shiny, and has abundant fluff, ideal for making traditional textiles. They are known for their physical resilience and livestock efficiency. The Venice Simplon Orient Express is considered one of the most luxurious and romantic trains in the world. This historic train offers 5-star luxury service and travels routes between London, Venice, and other European cities. The price of the trip is approximately $5,000 per passenger and includes a high-quality seasonal menu and the attention of a butler throughout the journey. This extremely dangerous, improperly buried high-voltage cable is highly volatile. The sparks it produces are a type of electric arc, a phenomenon so powerful that even without direct contact, it can release enough heat and energy to cause severe burns and electrocution, making it a threat to anyone in its vicinity. Although the teeth of humans and sharks are very different in appearance and function, both are extremely hard. Human teeth are covered by dental enamel, which is the hardest substance in a vertebrate's body and withstands the daily wear of chewing. On the other hand, shark teeth are composed mainly of dentine, a very resistant substance that is effective for cutting and tearing the flesh of their prey. Although human enamel is harder than shark dentine, both materials are perfectly adapted to the needs of their respective owners. In Manila, Philippines, the procession of the Black Nazarene is one of the largest religious manifestations in the world. The statue, carved in 1606 in Mexico, turned black after surviving a fire on the ship that was transporting it to the Philippines. Millions of devotees, many of them barefoot, gather every year to try to touch the statue, believing it has miraculous powers. On Spotify and other music services, there are playlists specially designed to perform CPR with the correct rhythm, between 100 and 120 compressions per minute, in first aid situations. These playlists include songs like Stayin' Alive by the Bee Gees and Dreams by Fleetwood Mac. In Shenzhen, China, more than 600 drones failed and fell from the sky during a show. Although the cause was not confirmed, experts believe that a loss of GPS signal or electronic interference may have caused a subsystem failure, causing some drones to lose their position and fall, while others continued the show. Ford Motor Company, founded by Henry Ford in 1903, revolutionized the automotive industry with the introduction of the assembly line and the Model T in 1908. What is interesting is that Ford was not only a pioneer in car manufacturing, but he also implemented a minimum wage of $5 a day in 1914, which doubled the salary of many workers at the time. This decision not only helped reduce employee turnover, but also allowed his workers to buy the same cars they produced, thus fostering the growth of the middle class in the United States. In certain parts of the world, phenomena called eternal flames occur, produced by natural gas leaks from the subsoil. This gas rises through cracks in the rock and can ignite spontaneously or through human intervention. The combustion is maintained for years or centuries if the emission is constant. Although they do not always indicate large reserves, they do signal continuous geological activity. The giant African snail, Achatina fulica, is one of the largest land snails in the world, with a shell that can measure between 25 and 30 centimeters in length and 8 centimeters in height. It is also included in the list of the world's 100 most harmful invasive alien species due to its ability to cause significant damage to agriculture and biodiversity. In Singapore, a train uses smart windows to protect residents' privacy. The electrochromic glass of the windows becomes opaque when passing in front of buildings and residential areas, which prevents passengers from seeing inside homes. This technology is an example of how modern engineering solves conflicts between public infrastructure and private life. In recent years, China has led the large-scale adoption of digital money. With apps like WeChat Pay and Alipay, a large part of the urban population has stopped using cash, preferring digital payments for everything from minor purchases to real estate transactions. The Chinese government has also launched an official digital yuan, marking the beginning of a new era in the world economy, where physical money may become obsolete. The Cruise autonomous taxis in San Francisco operate with a combination of cutting-edge technology. They use LiDAR to create a 3D map of their surroundings, cameras to detect objects and people, and GPS for navigation. These vehicles represent a significant step toward a future with safe, autonomous urban transportation. Dolphins are the most intelligent animals in the ocean, or one of the most intelligent. You could even say that their brains are similar to ours. What you see now is a human brain next to a dolphin's brain. The largest part of its brain is the cerebral neocortex, where thought processes are generated, just like in us. Thanks to this, dolphins have great social skills and are capable of understanding basic commands. The wind and rain bridges of China in Guizhou province are unique covered structures built by the Dong minority. Designed without a single nail and using traditional carpentry techniques, these bridges not only provide a safe passage over rivers and streams, but are also places for social gatherings and celebrations for local communities. When a truck gets stuck in the mud, getting into the bed is a common tactic to help it get out. By adding weight to the rear, the traction of the tires in the mud increases, allowing them to grip the more solid ground beneath the surface. This counterweight technique is often enough to get the vehicle moving. We yawn when we are tired, but also when we wake up after resting all night. We do it when we are bored, have anxiety, hunger, or are nervous about trying something new. But the curious thing is that yawning is contagious, whether we see someone near us yawn or in a photo, and even if we see an animal yawning, it is contagious. However, the physiological reason why we yawn remains a mystery, according to experts. During World War II, prisoners in German concentration camps used Monopoly money, the famous board game, as a currency within the camps. These bills were provided by the Red Cross along with other supplies. Although it was a makeshift form of money, it allowed the prisoners to buy food and other goods from each other, showing how money can arise in any circumstance. Believe it or not, this is a robot, not a person. For a long time, China has been working on humanoids, and the idea is that robots can be mistaken for humans. The goal of this is to use them for productivity in some jobs, so they can be teachers in schools, for example, and even to replace people who are no longer in this world. Fu Xi, also known as Paoxi, is a central figure in Chinese mythology. He is represented as half man and half snake, a symbol of ancestral wisdom and the harmony between opposites. He is considered a cultural hero and is credited with fundamental contributions to humanity. According to tradition, he taught people to fish with nets and hunt with iron weapons. He also devised the writing system and the 8 trigrams of the I Ching. Some legends state that, along with Nuwa, he repopulated the earth after a great flood. His image is venerated in monumental sculptures, especially in Hainan. More than half of the Brazilian supermodels were born in a small rural town called Rio Grande do Sul in southern Brazil. In this area, there is a perfect genetic mix for talent scouts, consisting of tall, thin women with straight hair, light skin, and light eyes, a mix of European and Brazilian features. In fact, supermodels like Gisele Bündchen or Alessandra Ambrosio were born here. These are the transparent Nike Air Max 97s. Released as a special edition, These sneakers are distinguished by their translucent upper. Their design is a nod to futuristic technology as they allow the wearer to show off their socks, which become a visible and customizable part of the footwear. Have you ever seen living stones? That's the name of this plant native to South Africa. Its real name is lithops, and it is known as living stones for its resemblance to stones, except that these grow and bloom during autumn. Although they are cultivated all over the planet, many people are unaware of their existence. The staircase called the Hand of Buddha in China is located in Qingyuan, Guangdong Province. Its structure mimics an enormous hand extended toward the sky, used as a tourist viewpoint. The work generates interest due to its visual impact and its symbolic relationship with meditation. Its value is more artistic than religious. A team of workers can raise an entire building using hydraulic jacks. This technique allows for the preservation of historical structures or the repair of damaged foundations without demolishing the building. The process consists of placing multiple synchronized jacks under the building's base. Through controlled pressure, the structure is lifted gradually and stably. Precise coordination is crucial to avoid cracks or structural damage. This method is also used in flood-prone areas as a preventative measure. If the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs had impacted 30 seconds later, it would have fallen over the ocean. This would have considerably reduced the force of the impact, and if that had been the case, not all dinosaurs would have gone extinct, and humans would never have existed. Light painting is an artistic technique that uses long-exposure photography to record the movement of light sources in the dark. This art form combines image, time, and gesture, creating visible strokes that are captured in the photograph. Although it has become popular with modern tools like the Lightwriter pen, its origins date back to the 20th century. In 1949, Pablo Picasso collaborated with photographer Joan Mealy to draw with light using a flashlight. In the future, it is likely that insects will be part of our daily diet, according to many experts. In fact, approximately 20% of the world's population already consumes insects regularly. It is believed that in the coming decades we will all incorporate insects into our diet, as they are a high-quality source of protein. Although their appearance may not be very attractive, the nutritional benefits of insects are undeniable. These bees are capable of detecting bombs thanks to their incredible sense of smell. They are trained by confining them in an individual cage and rewarding them with sugar water each time they are exposed to explosive vapors. With this method, the bees associate the smell with a reward and can be monitored by cameras to detect explosives in places that are difficult for other animals to access. A Turkish restaurant in Adana, owned by Yasar Aydin, tried to send a kebab into space to publicize his restaurant in a unique way. With the help of Idris, a space engineering student, they designed a device with a helium balloon to carry the kebab to the stratosphere. However, the balloon exploded at sea level, and the kebab ended up feeding the fish. These are crocodile eyes, photographed at night. Like many other animals, crocodiles have a special tissue behind the retina called the tapetum lucidum. This layer acts like a mirror that reflects visible light back through the eye, improving night vision. The reddish or orange color we see is the result of the light reflected through their tapetum lucidum. The royal flycatcher, also known as the Amazonian royal flycatcher, is a species of passerine bird that measures between 15 and 17 centimeters long. Its upper parts are mainly brownish-gray, with cream-colored spots on the wing coverts. Its rump and tail are yellowish ochre, and its beak is relatively long and wide. The male has a characteristic fan-shaped crest with red feathers, while females have a yellowish-orange crest. In Kansas City, stores like Statue 3D create three-dimensional figures of people using body scanning and printing. This technology, with medical applications such as prosthetics and surgeries, was developed by several countries, including Germany. Today, it is available for artistic and commercial uses, allowing for personalized replicas accessible to the public. The Vingerklip Stone Towers in Namibia. These imposing rock formations rise like natural pillars in the arid Namibian landscape. Formed by the erosion of sediments deposited more than 30 million years ago, the towers are a testament to the power of natural processes over time and are a popular destination for nature lovers and photography enthusiasts. Piranha, which means devilfish in Guarani, is an animal with a fearsome reputation. Despite their sharp teeth and aggressive image in movies, piranhas rarely attack humans. They are primarily scavengers and opportunists, and attacks only occur in conditions of extreme starvation or if they feel trapped and threatened. This is a pedestrian bridge with a curious design in the shape of circles. It consists of 5 round decks with masts of different heights, supported by 118 metal cables. It is called Cirkelbroen or Circle Bridge in Danish and is located in Copenhagen, Denmark. It was designed by the artist Olafur Eliasson and its construction was completed in the year 2015. It is 40 meters long and connects to the city's bicycle path network. In Townsville, Australia, projections were used to give trees a face during a festival. This technique, known as video mapping or projection mapping, uses light to project images onto irregular surfaces. Artists manipulate the projections to fit the shape of the trees, creating an immersive visual experience that appears to give them life. Although they lack wheels, there are wheelchairs designed for fish in the world. They were handmade by a caretaker at the San Antonio Aquarium in the United States. The wheelchair functions more like a float and has a piece of styrofoam, which allows it to control its stability. Surprisingly, it is not the only model of a chair designed for fish. There are some more homemade ones that serve the same purpose and allow this species to float without problems. These mechanical butterflies are an example of a toy powered by elastic potential energy. The twisted rubber band stores energy, which is then suddenly released to make the wings move, creating the illusion that the butterfly is flying. The Sea Organ of Zadar, designed by Nikola Basic and inaugurated in 2005, is an architectural installation in Zadar, Croatia. It produces musical sounds when the sea waves pass through tubes under a marble staircase. It is a popular tourist attraction and has been internationally recognized for its originality. This strange creature is a brittle star and is closely related to starfish. What is most striking are its 5 long and flexible arms that extend from the central disc, which can measure more than 50 centimeters in length. It uses them to swim or catch its prey. The Chinese company Sany Heavy Industry is known for manufacturing high-precision heavy machinery. At trade shows and technical demonstrations, their excavators perform delicate maneuvers, such as opening bottles or moving fragile objects. These actions show the advanced hydraulic control of their equipment, designed for demanding and sensitive tasks. The system includes positive flow technology and real-time computerized control. The exhibits are technical tests that demonstrate reliability and precision. This generates confidence among operators and industrial clients. This peculiar vehicle, known as the banana car, was built by the Mutant brothers from a Ford truck. Despite its playful appearance, it is a real, road-legal vehicle that has been taken to various events and demonstrations across the United States. Meet John Shin, a dog that was waiting for his owner at a train station in China. He is a 15-year-old canine whose owner leaves for work very early and returns on the train about 12 hours later. He sits at the station and waits until he arrives, and every time he sees him, he greets him very kindly. This dog became famous due to a video posted on social media, where people were very moved by his story. Bumblebees can beat their wings with enormous force, creating a mini vortex that can lift dust or sawdust from the ground. Although they have a stinger and can inject venom, they are much less aggressive than bees or wasps, and they only sting in self-defense when they feel threatened. At the end of each school year, senior students at Basha High School in Arizona throw notebook pages down the stairs as a symbolic gesture representing the end of the school year and the release of accumulated stress. This paper cascade has become a tradition anticipated by the student community, serving as a cathartic way to say goodbye to classes and academic challenges. While not an official practice, it is understood as a modern rite of passage to the next educational stage, while younger students participate by collecting the paper and promoting recycling, which strengthens the sense of belonging between generations. McDonald's was founded in 1940 by brothers Richard and Maurice McDonald in San Bernardino, California, as a fast food restaurant. The quick service system was developed by the brothers, who implemented a production system that maximized efficiency, similar to an assembly line. In 1954, Ray Kroc, a milkshake machine salesman, joined the company and, seeing the potential, helped expand the chain nationally and eventually internationally. Today, McDonald's is one of the largest fast food restaurants in the world, with more than 40,000 locations. This is a submerged forest in Alaska. These phenomena are formed by rising sea levels or melting glaciers, which cause trees to become underwater. The danger in these forests lies in the fact that decomposing organic matter can generate methane bubbles that, as they rise, weaken the surface ice and create soft spots through which one can fall. In ancient Greece, honey was a valuable resource and was used as a medium of exchange. In addition to being a prized sweetener, honey was traded over long distances, especially in regions like Crete and Attica. This use of honey shows how natural products that are common today could have had considerable economic value in pre-industrial economies. Keratoconus is a degenerative condition that causes the cornea to become thinner and bulge into a cone shape, which distorts vision. Although the causes are not clear, its progression can be stopped with treatments such as the use of specialized contact lenses, or, in more severe cases, a cornea transplant. This is a robot that tries to imitate the human voice, and although it may look like something else, it is just a robot trying to sing. Dreams occur during REM sleep, a phase where the brain is active, but the body is immobilized. Scientists still debate their exact purpose, but it is believed that they can help process emotions, consolidate memories, and solve problems. Dreams are produced by neuronal activity in the brain during this phase of sleep. What you see on the screen is not a branch, it's a Phyllium Garryon, called the wandering violin mantis. It is an insect about 10 centimeters long with very long limbs that resemble sticks. This is something it knows how to take advantage of very well, because it usually sways its body back and forth to imitate a branch moving with the wind. This way, it can camouflage itself and catch its prey without them noticing until it's too late. The world's longest limousine is called the American Dream and measures 30.54 meters in length. It was built in 1986 by designer J. Orberg, known for creating vehicles for film and television. It is assembled from several Cadillac Eldorados connected by a customized structure. After years of abandonment, it was restored between 2019 and 2022 with a considerable investment. It is currently exhibited at the Autoseum Automotive Museum in New York. Penjors are tall, curved bamboo poles decorated with leaves, fruits, rice, and symbolic fabrics. They are placed on avenues, houses, and temples during the Balinese festival of Galungan. This festival celebrates the victory of good over evil and marks the return of ancestral spirits. The penjors represent offerings to the Hindu gods, especially as a thank you for prosperity. Their arched shape evokes sacred mountains close to the divine. They also symbolize the harmony between humans, nature, and spirituality. These egg masses are from a leopard frog and sometimes adhere to branches or plants. The name leopard comes from its spotted skin, but its common name in English is meadow frog, due to the sound the males make to attract females, which resembles a purr or a growl. In this video, you can see how a young man put together a 42,000-piece puzzle. Because the recording is a time-lapse, we can see him finish it in just a couple of minutes, but it took the user about 500 hours, spread out over almost a year. He started it in April of 2019 and completed it in March of 2020. This dense cloud of sand that covered the Suez Canal in Egypt is known as a haboob. Although people usually take shelter from them, the main danger is not the sand, but the strong winds that cause them. They are capable of lifting roofs and toppling trees in minutes, which makes them a real risk to infrastructure and transportation. The Microlino is a small two-person electric car that can be charged in just 4 hours and has a range of up to 230 kilometers. It is ideal for urban use due to its compact size and ease of parking. Arai Yashiki is a yokai from Japanese mythology, whose name means the foot-washing mansion. According to legend, this yokai is a giant foot that appears at the entrance of messy or neglected houses. It demands that someone wash and clean it, and if its demand is not met, it can destroy the home. There are more than 200 liters of urine in an Olympic swimming pool. It sounds disturbing, but it's a truth proven by science. Canadian scientists studied how much urine is in these pools by the amount of acesulfame potassium they contain. This is a sweetener that is expelled through urine, and during the study with samples from various public pools, they found that there are approximately 200 liters of urine in each Olympic pool. This is the gharial, a freshwater crocodile that lives in the rivers of Pakistan, India, Nepal, and Bangladesh. The male gharial is distinguished by a peculiar bulbous growth on the tip of its snout, called a gara, which he uses to attract females with his vocalizations. It is a fish predator that can grow to be almost 5 meters long. The Day of the Dead Parade in Mexico City is an emblematic event celebrated annually to honor deceased loved ones. This colorful parade is famous for its large size, vibrant colors, dazzling costumes, floats, and the iconic Catrinas that travel the city's streets and avenues. Thousands of people from all over the world gather to participate and enjoy this rich cultural tradition. This brave tree was the only survivor among more than 70,000 trees that faced the tsunami in Japan in 2011. Although unfortunately the increase of salt in the soil caused it to dry out, it is still preserved in its place as a symbol of hope. This veterinarian, named Sarah, often swims with American crocodiles. While they are considered moderately dangerous, it is recommended to avoid them, as they can be territorial, and, although they rarely attack humans, they are very powerful predators. Even so, they are less aggressive than saltwater or Nile crocodiles, with which she would never dare to swim. Walking the entire Great Wall of China would take approximately 35 months, covering its more than 21,000 kilometers, which is equivalent to 5 times the length of the United States. Although it is not possible to walk its entirety due to some restricted areas, completing the main sections would take you about 100 days, as long as you are in good physical condition. Weddings in India often include banquets with a wide variety of typical dishes. Chicken korma, with its mild and spiced flavor, is popular in the north. Vindaloo, originally from Goa, is traditionally prepared with pork or lamb, although there are modern variants with beef. Palak dal, a mix of lentils and spinach, is common on vegetarian menus. Many dishes are intensely spiced, although the level of spiciness varies by region. Eating with your hands is part of the cultural experience, as it allows for a better perception of the food's texture and temperature. This practice symbolizes a connection to and respect for the food. Live Penalty is a robot specialized in taking penalty kicks and is controlled by a mobile application. Numerous world-renowned soccer clubs use this technology to train their goalkeepers. The machine can shoot balls at more than 100 kilometers per hour and allows for varying the direction and height of the shot, which helps improve the technique and reflexes of the goalkeepers. These are potatoes grown without soil, in a method known as hydroponic or aeroponic cultivation. They are sown in soil, and once they sprout, they are placed on platforms where the roots are sprayed with nutrient-enriched vapor. This technique allows for a water savings of up to 90% and has been shown to produce denser harvests with higher nutrient levels. The idea of time travel has captivated humanity's imagination for centuries. The possibility of moving through time has inspired countless stories and theories. Although theoretical physics suggests that certain types of time travel might be possible, such as travel through wormholes or by manipulating space-time, many mysteries and challenges still remain to be solved. These challenges include temporal paradoxes, like the famous grandfather paradox, and the enormous amounts of energy that would likely be necessary to perform such journeys. The golden tortoise beetle is a fascinating insect less than a centimeter long. The most curious thing is the behavior of its larva, which accumulates its own feces on its back, creating a protective parasol that it uses as a shield against predators. The adult's ability to change from a brilliant gold to a dull orange-brown also helps it avoid detection. Nathan Paulin, a renowned French tightrope walker, crossed the Paseo de Gracia in Barcelona at 70 meters high. He traversed the 350 meters separating the Telefónica and Generali buildings on both sides of Plaza Catalunya as part of the inauguration of the Grec Festival of Barcelona, coinciding with the 200th anniversary of the Paseo de Gracia. The Gotake Viaduct, located in Shan State, Myanmar, was built between 1899 and 1900 during British rule. Its parts were manufactured by the Pennsylvania Steel Company in the United States and transported by ship to Rangoon, where they were assembled by American engineers in a remote, hard-to-access area. Its modular design facilitated this project, which, at the time of its inauguration, was considered the largest railway trestle bridge in the world. In 1567, Hans Steininger, until recently considered the man with the longest beard in the world, died after tripping over it when running to save himself from a fire that occurred in Braunau am Inn, a town in Austria. If you are wondering about the size of his beard, it measured 1.40 meters. Damascus goats, native to Syria, are ironically known as the most beautiful goat in the world due to their appearance. Despite their unusual face, they are a very valuable and prized breed in the Middle East, as they are selectively bred for their high milk production, which is used to make cheese and yogurt, and for the quality of their meat. The animated series Futurama was written by doctors and masters who graduated from Harvard. David X. Cohen, head writer, has a PhD in physics. Al Jean, writer and executive producer, has a PhD in mathematics, as does Ken Keeler. Together, the writers have 4 doctorates, 7 master's degrees, and decades of studies at the prestigious Harvard University. In Nigeria, the ritual dance of certain spiritual practitioners is part of religious ceremonies among peoples like the Yoruba, Igbo, and Hausa. These dances are accompanied by intense percussion and chants that induce states of trance or communion with the divine. The movements of the spiritual dancer often follow the rhythm of the drums, which mark the times of the ceremony. In some traditions, the dancer is considered an intermediary between the human and the sacred. These practices reflect the deep relationship between music, physicality, and spirituality in Nigerian culture. The Nymphister chronoweri is a small beetle that uses ants as a means of transportation. These beetles cling with their jaws to worker ants, especially those of the Eciton mexicanum species, to move and search for new nesting sites. This behavior, known as foracy, allows them to save energy during their travels. The lezginka is a traditional dance from the Caucasus that expresses the harmony between strength and elegance. The man performs agile jumps and energetic movements, imitating the flight of an eagle, while the woman glides gracefully, like a swan. They dance without physical contact, following norms of respect and modesty deeply rooted in the local culture. This dance is performed at weddings, celebrations, and public events, and can include variations with acrobatics. Its fast-paced 6-8-time signature requires great physical dexterity. The Electrico Ascento Pro is an autonomous robot developed by the Swiss company Ascento Robotics. This robot can climb stairs and jump obstacles thanks to its integrated cameras and sensors. It is designed for tasks such as package delivery and inspection and surveillance. A Chinese company was able to build a 10-story building in just 28 hours thanks to modular construction. The building is composed of prefabricated autonomous units, including pipes, wires, and windows, which are assembled on the construction site like Lego pieces. This method reduces on-site construction time and minimizes waste. Blue tomatoes are a variety that has been cultivated to produce high levels of anthocyanins, the pigments responsible for their curious coloration. This alters their flavor and makes them slightly acidic, but it also makes them more resistant to diseases. The blue or purple tone is not only on the outside, but can also be seen in the pulp of the fruit. In Bangladesh, urban public transportation is chaotic and risky. Buses are often dented and scratched due to aggressive competition between drivers. Many drivers are paid per passenger, which incentivizes dangerous maneuvers. It is common for vehicles to brush against or slightly collide with each other on the road. Traffic rules are weak or poorly enforced, which exacerbates the disorder. On the streets, assistants hit the buses to guide or warn drivers. This situation creates a precarious daily experience for users. In the year 2015, a young man from Ethiopia created his own airplane by watching hours of tutorials on YouTube and reading manuals. His name is Asmalash Zefiru. He baptized it as K570A. The K is the initial of his mother's name, Kiro. 570 was the number of days it took him to assemble it. And the A is for airplane. To build his plane, he spent $7,500 and, despite the obstacles, he did not stop pursuing his dream. At death metal concerts, the ritual called a wall of death is common. It consists of the audience splitting into two groups that run toward each other and collide in the center. Although the act seems aggressive, it is done consensually among attendees. Pushing and falling are part of the experience, but it is common for participants to help each other. For many, it represents an intense release of energy and a connection to the music. Sam Van Aken, an art professor at Syracuse University, has created an extraordinary tree known as the Tree of 40 Fruit. This tree, the result of the grafting process, is capable of producing up to 40 different types of fruit, including peaches, apricots, plums, and cherries. Van Aken has planted several of these trees in different states across the United States, astounding everyone with his ingenious creation. The monarch butterfly is famous for its annual migration of thousands of kilometers from North America to Mexico. This is one of nature's most impressive phenomena. During their journey, monarch butterflies can cover a distance of up to 160 kilometers a day. This migration spans several generations of butterflies and is an extraordinary journey that usually takes them to the Oyamel forests in Mexico, where they spend the winter. Until 2006, the lids of McDonald's McFlurry ice creams had a design that caused hedgehogs to get trapped and die. Thanks to a campaign by a Hedgehog Protection Association in the United Kingdom, McDonald's redesigned its cups to make the hole smaller, preventing hedgehogs from getting stuck. This change has been a great triumph for the conservation of these small spiny animals. This is a 3D astronaut in a shopping mall. This type of exhibit uses holographic projection or 3D visual effects to create an immersive and futuristic experience. The technology, which uses layers of light and a background environment, is used for art exhibitions, advertising, and entertainment. This is how all pizza restaurant menus should be. Each page shows what the pizza will look like, which makes the decision much easier. Gonzalo Guerrero, a Spanish castaway who arrived at the Yucatan Peninsula in 1511, was captured by the Maya. However, over time he gained their trust and was freed. He married the daughter of Nachan Khan, the leader of Chactamal, and adopted Mayan culture, fighting against the Spanish conquistadors. Guerrero is seen as the first European to fully integrate into Mayan culture. This squishy egg yolk ball is a stress relief toy made of polyurethane foam. Although it is sold under unusual names, such as vomits, its purpose is to relieve tension through tactile stimulation. The soft, elastic texture of this type of toy became popular to help reduce anxiety in adults and children. The sunfish is one of the heaviest fish in the world, with a weight that can vary between 1 and 2 tons and a length that exceeds 3 meters. These giants live in tropical waters and can be found in various oceans around the planet. The females of this species are capable of producing up to 300 million eggs, more than any other known vertebrate. At birth, the fry are so small that they barely reach the size of a fingertip. This crane that remains stable on an oil platform is achieved thanks to an industrial gyroscope. The principle is the same as that of a chicken's head. The crane uses a system of sensors and counterweights to counteract the movement of the waves. This allows it to maintain balance and transport heavy loads safely even in turbulent waters. The arc lamp, invented by Sir Humphrey Davy in 1802, was the first known object to use electricity to generate light. This lamp created light by establishing an electric arc between 2 carbon electrodes, producing an intense white light. Although it was not practical for daily use, it marked the beginning of using electricity for lighting. In Kazakhstan, a man is in a room full of lizards. Although there are many types, only 3 are known to be venomous: the Gila monster and the beaded lizard, endemic to Mexico, and the Komodo dragon of Indonesia. Unlike snakes, which inject venom through their fangs, these lizards must chew their prey to release the venom from glands in their lower jaw, which makes their bite less dangerous. Thanks to Matrix technology, you no longer have to switch between your vehicle's low and high beams. They detect other cars and block the light to avoid dazzling them. The mirror dancer's suit is made of hundreds of mirror pieces. These costumes are popular at special events and festivals, where the dancers reflect the light from their surroundings to create a dazzling light show. The high cost of these costumes is due to the fact that they are handmade and custom designed for each artist. Urinating on a jellyfish sting is a popular myth and not an effective solution. In fact, it can worsen the situation by releasing more venom. Instead, experts recommend rinsing the affected area with seawater to remove tentacle remnants and then applying vinegar to deactivate the venom-stinging cells. This is a goldfish driving a mobile aquarium. The system works thanks to a sensor that detects the direction the fish swims and directs the aquarium's wheels in that same direction. This creation is part of a behavioral control experiment that demonstrates that animals have spatial awareness and are capable of adapting their environment to move through it. Rumeysa Gelgi from Turkey is the tallest woman in the world, with a height of 2.15 meters. She also holds the titles for the longest hands on a living person, with hands of almost 25 centimeters. This sheared alpaca is an animal native to the Andes. Its coat is highly valued as it is considered one of the finest fibers in the world. It is warmer than sheep's wool, lightweight, hypoallergenic, and durable. Unlike sheep, alpaca fiber is classified into 22 natural colors, which makes it even more exclusive. Mindao. Brandon Withrow, an American engineer, designed a small television using a 3D printer. This mini television plays episodes of The Simpsons in a random loop. The project uses a Raspberry Pi Zero and a TFT LCD screen, among other components. Every 20 years, a group of scientists from the University of Michigan unearths bottles hidden more than a century ago by botanist William James Beal. This experiment, started in 1879, seeks to determine how long weed seeds can survive in the soil. Beal buried 20 bottles in different places in the field, with the simple rule that scientists must take one out every 20 years to check if the seeds can still germinate. This man is able to control the movements of his stomach to return large quantities of water. This ability, which seems magical, is actually an advanced physical control of the diaphragm and abdominal muscles, a skill that requires rigorous training. A supermoon occurs when the full moon reaches its closest point to Earth in its elliptical orbit, known as perigee. This causes the moon to appear bigger and brighter in the night sky. This astronomical phenomenon captures the attention of observers and photographers around the world, who seek to immortalize the impressive sight. The E-Jump Fuji group, made up of elementary school students in Fuji City, Japan, achieved a Guinness World Record by performing 230 team jump rope skips in 1 minute, using a single rope with all participants jumping at the same time. This officially recognized feat has been widely shared on media and social networks and highlights the need for precise synchronization, great physical endurance, and speed. The sea slugs Elysia marginata and Elysia atroviridis are fascinating creatures. These nudibranch mollusks have an astonishing ability. When they get sick, they cut their head off the affected body to survive. This phenomenon, known as cephalic autonomy, allows them to get rid of the damaged part and regenerate a new body, thus preserving the healthy part. The strange ovens of Uzbekistan, called tandir, are used to cook the traditional bread known as naan. The loaves of bread are stamped with a distinctive pattern before being cooked. Each baker has their own stamp, which not only adds a personal touch to the bread, but also serves to differentiate the quality and origin of each loaf. Crocodiles can reach speeds of up to 20 kilometers per hour over short distances, especially when they feel threatened or are hunting. This speed allows them to perform quick ambushes and efficiently capture their prey. This caterpillar is known as the monkey slug caterpillar and is sometimes confused with spiders due to its appearance. Its hairy and spiny appendages not only help it defend itself, but also mimic tarantulas, which deters predators. Although its spider-like appearance is a trick, contact with its spines can cause a painful rash. If someone were to travel to the area of the solar system beyond the orbits of Neptune and Pluto, they would find a region known as the Kuiper Belt. This belt is not empty. It contains a large number of icy bodies, including dwarf planets, comets, and other trans-Neptunian objects. The Chinese athlete Sen Xiaolin achieved a world record by performing 228 jump rope skips in 30 seconds during an international competition in Oslo. He used a technique called repicateo, where the rope passes under his feet 2 or more times with each jump. This type of exercise requires precise coordination and extreme speed. To reach that rhythm, the athlete trained for years with intensive programs. The feat is equivalent to more than 7 jumps per second. Terence Tao, an Australian-American mathematician, is considered one of the most intelligent people in the world, with an estimated IQ of between 225 and 230. Intelligence is measured mainly through the intelligence quotient, using standardized psychological tests that evaluate skills such as reasoning, memory, and verbal comprehension. The Korowai are an indigenous tribe inhabiting West Papua, Indonesia, known for building houses in the treetops. These homes, which can reach up to 35 meters in height, protect them from mosquitoes, wild animals, and even clashes with other clans. The tribe remained isolated from the outside world until the 1970s, when they were contacted by anthropologists. Their culture, rich in symbolic meaning, includes rituals, animist beliefs, and a social organization based on clans. Recompose is a funerary alternative that transforms the deceased into compost through natural organic reduction. The body is placed in a mixture of wood chips, straw, and alfalfa, and microbes decompose it in approximately 30 days. This initiative was created to stop the 16,000 square kilometers of forests that are lost each year for the production of coffins. The traditional Chinese 3-person board race is a notable example of the importance of synchronization. Although muscle and stamina are important, the race's success depends entirely on the runner's ability to coordinate their brains and movements as one, a key principle in many Chinese practices of cooperation. Ian Davis is a mechanical engineer from the state of Oregon, United States, who lost 4 fingers of his left hand after an accident in his workshop. He decided to build a prosthetic hand using a 3D printer. Through his social networks, he shows impressive images of his invention, which allows him to perform daily tasks with ease. Biologists have discovered that whale sharks have teeth in their eyes. These mysterious fish have small scale-like teeth that protect their eyeballs. This is one of the strangest things not seen in other animals. The teeth, called dermal denticles, are scales that serve as armor, but also allow them to swim faster. Although it is already known that sharks are covered with scales, what is most surprising is that they also have them inside their eyes. Meet the incredible lanternfish. The color of its eyes is due to them being filled with symbiotic bioluminescent bacteria that glow in the dark in different colors with just a blink. These fish use this light to attract food, mate, and escape from predators. The aquarium toilet at the Hippopo restaurant in Akashi, Japan, is an unusual installation that attracts many curious people. For its construction, the owner invested a large sum of money and installed it in the women's restroom. The result is a truly immersive experience, as it creates the illusion of being in an aquarium. In Dubai, it is possible to see 2 sunsets, the first at sea level and the second from the top of the world's tallest building, the Burj Khalifa. This is thanks to its fast elevator that takes you from the base to the top in just 1 minute. Pumbaa, the funny warthog from the Disney movie The Lion King, is known for being the first animated Disney character to pass gas on screen. This happened in the movie that premiered in 1994, and was a memorable moment that added a spark of humor to the film. Wagyu is one of the most expensive and valued meats in the world. Coming from Japanese cattle breeds, it is known for its marbling that distributes intramuscular fat evenly, providing an exceptional flavor and an incredibly tender texture. Japan has strict regulations on Wagyu breeding, which makes this meat a luxury reserved for special occasions and exclusive restaurants. This is an umbrella with the corona effect, an electrical phenomenon caused by the ionization of air around a charged conductor. It occurs spontaneously on high-voltage power lines, where a slight buzzing can be heard, and a faint bluish or violet glow can even be seen while ozone is generated. In Beijing, China, a humanoid robot named Cho conducted an orchestra. The music it performed was created with artificial intelligence, demonstrating another step in the collaboration between humans and machines. Although the reviews of the music were mixed, these types of experiments are crucial for exploring how AI systems can learn and generate new forms of art. The Japanese artist Nakajima, known as Badland Models, is famous for transforming adorable characters from our childhood like Mickey Mouse, Pikachu, and Winnie the Pooh into terrifying survivors of a post-apocalyptic world. His creations are truly impressive and have a unique style that mixes elements of a devastated world with iconic characters. There is a dark story about Walt Disney. He had a childhood friend named Ub Iwerks, and after some failures, Walt suggested that Ub draw an iconic animated character. Ub Iwerks invented the most famous animated mouse, Mickey Mouse. Unfortunately, Walt put his signature on all the drawings, which made Iwerks a secondary figure. Even when children asked Walt to draw Mickey, he would defer to Iwerks, causing his anger and making him decide to distance himself from his, until then, friend. This artist has a limitless imagination. His name is Edson Aurelio, and he uses anything that comes to mind to start his work. At first, his work seemed to make no sense, but as the seconds pass, we can appreciate his incredible talent and imagination for transforming a random paint stain into a drawing spectacle. A chicken egg can withstand a surprising weight. Although chicken eggs seem fragile, they are designed to support a considerable weight. The oval shape of the egg evenly distributes the weight applied to it, allowing it to support up to 23 kilograms of weight without breaking. The three-toed sloth is the slowest mammal in the world. This species of sloth, which lives in Central and South America, is known for its extremely slow movement. They can move at an average speed of only 0.24 kilometers per hour on the ground. Paella, originating from the region of Valencia in Spain, is an iconic dish of Spanish cuisine. It is traditionally prepared with rice, saffron, seafood, chicken, and rabbit. Although there are many regional variations, paella is cooked in a wide, shallow pan called a paellera, which allows the rice to cook evenly. It is a festive dish served at family gatherings and celebrations. In the town of Donosa in Montenegro, there is a mulberry tree that has fascinated tourists and the curious. During heavy rains, underground springs flood, and the additional pressure causes water to rise through the hollow trunk of the tree, escaping through the holes and giving the appearance of a fountain. The word Kummerspeck is a German term used to name the weight gain someone gets from eating too much during emotional moments, such as when you eat a whole tub of ice cream while crying after a breakup. These are the strange Java apples, native to Malaysia, Indonesia, and India. Despite their name, their flavor is more similar to a pear with a hint of rose, and their juice is purple. They are known for their high water content and crispy texture, which is why they are often used to refresh salads and desserts. When the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie was released, Walkman cassette players experienced such a huge surge in popularity that some sold for thousands of dollars online. Because of this, for the production of the second movie, they decided to manufacture replicas instead of using the originals. The Red Bull Paper Wings is the official paper airplane world championship. Just one sheet is all you need to fly. Each competitor builds their own paper airplane, and they are divided into two different categories. One measures the distance of the flight, and the other values its time in the air. A galactic year, also known as a cosmic year, is the time it takes for the Milky Way to complete one rotation around its center. This period lasts approximately 200 million Earth years. This is a small flower preserved in amber for more than 100 years, found in western Burma. The flower belongs to the angiosperms, a group of plants that evolved and diversified about 100 million years ago. Before his political career, Donald Trump was known as a reality TV star for his show The Apprentice. The program gave him a national platform and helped him establish his personal brand before running for president of the United States. During a forest fire in Veracruz, Mexico, a fire whirlwind, a phenomenon called a fire tornado, formed. This type of event occurs when intense heat and strong winds create a vortex that concentrates the flames. The whirlwind can lift glowing embers, spread the fire, and reach temperatures of over 1,000 degrees Celsius. Due to its unpredictability and power, it is considered more dangerous than a conventional tornado. This reconstruction of a young Neanderthal's face was created from his bones. He lived in Europe about 60,000 years ago. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like it and share it with your friends. Subscribe so you don't miss more interesting content. Leave your comments and click on any of these videos. See you next time.